I call this meeting of the Pinellas County School Board, May 10th, 2022, to order. I'd like to begin today's meeting with a moment of gratitude, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance and led by Vice Chairman Lisa Kane, and then the National Anthem. So let's take a moment to stand up, and no matter the good and the bad in the world, we all have something to be grateful for. And so I want you to take a minute and think positively on that. So. To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh, say can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof to the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
You may be seated. Now, I'd like to introduce today's video. While we appreciate our teachers all year long, last week was the official Teacher Appreciation Week. Thank you, all the administrators, PTAs, and other community partners who joined with us to donate treats and held events and took action to recognize the dedication and the service of our teachers. So now let's hear why a few of our students appreciate their teachers so much.
I'd say that she's probably the best third grade teacher that I could ever wish for.
I love her because she's one of the teachers that always welcome me to when I'm here or not. And that's really cool.
She's very down to earth. She's easy to talk to. She explains anything to you in the way that you can understand it, and that's what I appreciate about her.
She's very welcoming. Just the word that comes to my mind is just amazing.
Whenever I feel class, I feel comfortable and that I'm in a safe place.
She makes me feel safe. Like she's my favorite teacher in the entire world. She is the best.
He really cares about us, and I can clearly see it in everything he does and everything he says.
Ms. E is like a mom to me because she always helps me.
She motivated me to come to school and stuff and to keep trying.
I like to say that I'm very thankful that she's my science teacher and that she actually respects me as a person and that she loves me.
She's great, awesome, and that's about it.
Oh, that was wonderful. All right, I would like to add my own thanks to teachers. You are truly heroes. You go above and beyond every day. You are the mother during school hours. You are the mentor. You are the motivator. We have so many hats as teachers. And, you know, everybody looks forward to retirement, but let me tell you, it's once you've been a teacher, it's lonely after you retire. And you miss those children and you miss the interaction. And that's what it's all about, is building relationships, positive relationships with young people so they have something to move forward and they want to, increase their ability and they want to be like you. So what better models teachers are. So thank you, teachers. All right. Now our public information officer, Isabel Mascarenas, will introduce our professional and community organizations.
The board, Dr. Grego, and staff. It is my pleasure to introduce the following representatives of community and professional organizations. From the Pinellas Classroom Teachers Association, we have Nancy Velarde, President. Today, we have a presentation from the Student Rights and Responsibility Committee. Please welcome Amaya Brundage and Anastasia Godfrey from Richard O. Jacobson Technical High School and their principal, Joshua Wolfenden.
Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the board, Dr. Grego, and staff. It is our pleasure to present the Student Rights and Responsibilities Committee report for Richard O. Jacobson Technical High School at Seminole. My name is Anastasia Godfrey. I am a senior in the Commercial Arts program at Richard O. Jacobson Technical High School.
And I am Amaya Brundage, and I am a junior in the nursing program at Jacobson Tech High.
Thank you very much for this opportunity to tell you a little bit about our school. We are a district application program high school that supports every student graduating not only with a high school diploma, but with one or more industry certifications as well.
Our school offers 7 different career technical education programs in a variety of industry certification opportunities.
Our gaming students earn software certifications in C# and Unity, and commercial arts students earn certifications in Adobe products.
Our construction and electrical students earn certifications through the National Center of Construction Education and Research, and our marine mechanics students earn certifications to become Yamaha technicians.
Our veterinary students complete a 250-hour internship to earn their veterinary assisting certification. At our school, we have 6 cows, 3 horses, 3 goats, 2 pigs, lots of rabbits, and a few birds. We also have a partnership with Pinellas County Animal Services. They bring dogs and cats to our school each Monday and come back and pick them up on Thursday. Our vet students work in a state-of-the-art vet science building where the classrooms are attached to the vet lab and large animal stables.
Our nursing students are able to earn their CNA and EKG certifications working in our nursing lab and completing clinicals in an assisted living facility. Nursing students who complete their graduation requirements by the end of junior year are eligible to attend Pinellas Technical College full-time as a senior and earn the LPN certifications.
Each of our career programs has an active advisory board made up of business partners and professionals in the community. They help us make sure that our programs are staying on the forefront of their industry. Last year, we were recognized by Magnet Schools of America as the #1 emerging magnet school in the nation.
One of the best things about our school is that our teachers and administrators work hard to provide us with the opportunities to participate in real-world experiences related to our industries.
The Pinellas Education Foundation approached students from the Commercial Arts program to design an interactive installation for Finance Park that highlights the contributions of Mr. Jacobson to Pinellas County schools, as well as career possibilities for younger students to explore.
Each year, our gaming students participate in the Next Generation Tech competition. This is a district-wide competition where students develop games, apps, softwares, and other real-world products. The students work in collaborative teams for months to design, develop, troubleshoot, and produce their final product.
This year, 4 of the 7 finalists for the Next Generation Tech competition came from Jacobson Technical High School. Our teams won 3rd place overall and were recognized with awards for Most Resilient, Best Team Synergy, and Most Inventive Use of OCR Tech.
Our construction and electricity programs partner with Habitat for Humanity several times a year to build homes in our community. They also partner with Pinellas County Mosquito Control to build chicken coops for their Seminole chickens.
Our marine mechanics students went to Blacktip Boat Works and were taught how to infuse boats with special carbon fiber. The boat they worked on was entered in the annual Captains for Clean Water Skiff Challenge.
Our veterinary students post pictures of the dogs and cats they work with for their animal services to the vet's Instagram page. Every dog that has come through our school this year has ended up getting adopted, but a lot of them has been by our students.
One of our nursing students recently competed in the Regional Skills USA competition and won gold for medical terminology, and she's a freshman. She will be going to Atlanta this summer for Skills USA national competition.
We are so proud of our school and the opportunities that we have available to us as students at Tech High.
Being able to graduate with dual enrollment credits, advanced placement credits, industry certifications, a network of business partners in our community, and the hands-on experience of working in our field will truly set us apart from the competition when we are applying to colleges and universities, positions in our chosen industry, or enlisting in the military.
Tech High has given us the skills to not only pursue our path after high school, but to be a leader on the path that we have chosen. We are excited to see what the future holds, and we are grateful that we have an opportunity to be a part of such a great school.
We would like to say thank you to the school board, Dr. Grego, the Pinellas Education Foundation, Mr. Hunt and the Career Technical Education Office, and everyone who has made it possible for Richard O. Jacobson Technical High School to be our school. As a result of our experiences at Tech High, we have a clear vision of where we are going and how we are going to make our impact on the world. Thank you.
What a fantastic job. Thank you so much. And we'd like to thank the principal, I hope I don't say this wrong, Woofenden, is that correct? Yes. Would you please stand? Is he here? Not today? Okay. Well, thank you for the tremendous job that you're doing at Tech High, and congratulations. All right, now, Dr. Grego, are there any changes to the agenda?
I have two minor adjustments or amendments to the agenda, Madam Chair and board members. On item 7.5, I've added the following two transfers. Recommendation of Kelly Austin, currently the principal of Bel Air Elementary School, to the principalship of Sandy Lane Elementary School effective July 1. And Dr. Jeffrey Moss, currently the principal of Sandy Lane Elementary School, to the principalship of Southern Oak Elementary School, effective the same date, July 1. In addition to that, I'm adding an item, as I mentioned to the board, 8.02. It's under the non-consent. I'm issuing and recommending that we issue a 90-day notice to terminate the charter agreement with North Star Academy. And we'll have further discussions on that with Ms. Hayes and others at 8.02. Those are the amendments to the agenda.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Grego. I find good cause to amend the agenda as described. May I get a motion? Ms. Cook and Ms. Kane, second. All in favor? Aye. All right, passes. All right, let's go into our recognitions. Recognition of Energy Star Partner of the Year for 4.1 and 4.2. I'm going to ask the board members to let's please go downstairs.
As the board members are assembling down below, let me introduce this item. This is a very prestigious award. It's a national award for the Energy Star Partner of the Year. And to present some of the background of this award, I'm going to call upon Mr. Clint Herbeck, Associate Superintendent of Operations for our entire school district, to give a little bit of a background for this award and introduce our guests.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Grego. Madam Chair, board members, we're extremely excited and proud to be able to present you with this award today. It is the, as Dr. Grego said, the Energy Star Partner of the Year Award. And in a few moments, I'm going to ask Mr. Steve Jones with Synergistic to speak a little bit more about the award itself. But for us as a district, I know we've talked numerous times about the amount of money that we've been able to save since our partnership with Synergistic started in 2015. It's now over $42 million. And I can't even remember how many how many cars we've taken off the road, how many trees we've saved through the energy reduction. And so it's not just about the money that we save, it's about doing what's right for the environment. And without your support, none of this is possible. So I do want to thank you as board members for standing behind both the synergistic program, but our efforts too in everything we're doing with energy conservation. And before I turn it over to Mr. Jones, one thing I would like to say is that the Partner of the Year has different categories. Our category that we apply for is energy management, and we are the only school district in the country to have received a Partner of the Year award in energy management for 4 straight years. And it's something, again, we're extremely proud of. So, Mr. Jones?
Thank you, Clint. Madam Chair, members of the board, Dr. Grego. My name's Steve Jones. This is, I just love coming back down here. I have some friends back home that say, I think you're just making up reasons to go down to Tampa. But we were here about a month ago, awarding 59 schools, correct? I wish these 2 young scholars were here because their tech school has received 2 Energy Star awards since the program started. So I wanted to congratulate them. But I want to give a little background of what this is. I know as educators you don't like to be read to, but for me to get this right, I'm going to have to read it. Energy Star Partner of the Year Award is stated by the Department of Energy, where it recognizes Energy Star partners in good standing that demonstrate superior leadership, innovation, and commitment to environmental protection through energy efficiency and sustainability. So what this means in layman's terms is this award is not given out as a participation trophy. Less than 1% of all organizations throughout the country receive this award. I think there were 18, almost 19,000 participants in 2022, and they chose right at 200. So this is an extremely, extremely good honor. Like you say, Clint, the only school district in America to get it 4 times in a row. You're in the company of school districts such as Fairfax County, which is one of the largest districts in America, Loudoun County, but Pinellas is the only one that's done it 4 years in a row. Little bit of company that you're in. I'm going to just read a few names that received the Energy Star Partner of the Year Award this year. You may have heard of a few of them. Best Buy is in this category this year. Bristol Myers, Lockheed Martin, MetLife, Home Depot, Verizon, and Xerox, just to name a few of the 206. So it's a pretty elite group that you're in. This is an amazing feat. I'm going to turn it over to Sam for just a second, one of the energy specialists, Sam Harris, to talk a little bit about what you've done numerically, correct? And then we're going to give the award.
And just on behalf of the energy specialist team here too, we want to reemphasize how important this is and what an honor it is to receive an award like this. You know, as they've said, there's only 9 school districts to receive this year, and I think that's pretty special. You know, but something like this is not possible without strong leadership support such as yourselves and the principals and the HPO and staff personnel who we have the pleasure of dealing with almost every day. So just again, want to say thank you and congratulations.
Okay, good deal. Dr. Grego, would you like to come down, please, when we get the picture, or do you want to do it with the board? Okay, please come. I'd like to say this last thing. The city of Clearwater has partnered with Synergistic. We're honored to be partners with them. And when we first started talking to them, they said that they kept hearing great things about what the school district was doing and wanted to know more about the program. So that's a great thing.
The next recognition, if you could stay in place, is a recognition of 2 student scholars. I'm very pleased to announce the Florida Prepaid College Scholarship came to us several years ago and said, if you advertise this Florida Prepaid, which isn't a difficult thing, we'll give you 2 scholarships. So as long as the 2 scholarships go to individuals that will be pursuing degrees in teaching. So Ms. Matway has been heading this up, so let me turn it over to Lori to introduce our 2 scholar winners.
Thank you, Madam Chair, board members, and Dr. Grego. It is my pleasure to share with you the students that have received these 2 scholarships. So if you see shocked faces behind me, they don't know why they're here. And we wanted to keep this a surprise because it was a tough competition. They had to apply to the Pinellas Education Foundation Scholarship Program. They filled out the application, and we looked for those students that not only were successful academically, but as Dr. Grego said, wanted to pursue a career in education. So I want to share with you a little bit about each of the students. So first, I would ask Zoe Webster to come up and join me at the podium. And as Zoe's coming up, let me share a little bit about her. Zoe is a senior at Bogosiega High School. She has a GPA of 4.4375. She plans to attend the University of South Florida, go Bulls. She has received the following honors: the Dr. Mac J. Williams Senior Academic Excellence Award, I think 4 years in a row, Principal's Honor Recognition, the Anne Frank Humanitarian Award, and the Bogosiega Top 10. What I'd like to share is just a little bit about what she wrote and why she wants to be a teacher. Zoe wrote, "I hit rock bottom. Half of my family members came down with COVID, and I was very sick and had a hard time recovering. Miss Vanderwell was there for me and my family. Even after I passed her class and got a 5 on the AP Psych exam, she continued to check up on me and help me as much as she could. As I think about how I want to contribute back to the world, I decided that I wanted to be a teacher like her." Thank you, and please allow me to congratulate and welcome Zoe Webster and share with her an $8,000 college scholarship. Zoe, if you'll go up front. And if your family would like to come up for a photo, family, and her principal, Ms. Gill, please come up and join for another photo. You know, Coach has to know everybody. Thank you, Zoe, and congratulations. Our second recipient, Annie Ho. Annie, come on up. Annie also attends Bogosiega High School, and she has a GPA of 4.4514. She plans to attend the University of Florida. Annie has received the AP Scholar with Distinction Award, the AP Scholar with Honors Award. And when asked of a teacher's impact on Annie, she wrote, "Mrs. Hawk was my elementary school teacher from 2nd to 5th grade. And she can say with full conviction that she made me the woman that I am today. Growing up, I developed self-esteem issues that stemmed from my insecurities about being an Asian American kid. I had difficulty trying to find where I fit in and eventually turned everyone away in fear of them choosing to reject me. Mrs. Hawk took notice of this situation and pulled me aside one day and explained to me that I should never be ashamed of who I am because I was perfect the way I am," which is a statement from her that I still remember fondly today. Witnessing this positive influence Mrs. Hawk has had on my development and education, I realized she fueled my passion to become a teacher. And I, one day, hope I can become the wonderfully kind and intelligent teacher that she is. I just want to let you know that I contacted Mrs. Hawk today, and she is currently a teacher at Anona Elementary, and she is so, so proud of you. At this time, I want to congratulate you, Annie, and give you a $8,000 scholarship to the University of Florida. And family, if you'd like to come up for a photo. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
I just wanted to mention that Ms. Vanderwall and Mrs. Hawk would have been here, but Ms. Vanderwall is doing AP psych testing today, and of course, Ms. Hawk is doing FSA testing, but they will have a message for both of you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Don't try to cash those checks. I signed those checks, and it's really the Florida Prepaid that you'll be getting that from. So congratulations to both. We look forward to working with you as teachers in our school district.
You saw Beth and Susan are here, right?
Susan, else not to see.
Board members, as a point of privilege, I'd like to add one special recognition to today's agenda that will not be voted on. The Juvenile Welfare Board has asked for time to recognize Dr. Grego and his contributions and partnership during his time here in Pinellas County. I'd like to invite JWB Chief Executive Officer Beth Houghton.
It's Houghton, but I get that a lot.
To the podium.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair and Board. And now Dr. Grego needs to know why I was sitting back in the audience. It was a bit of a mystery. I'm joined, by the way, by one of our board members, Juvenile Welfare Board members, Susan Ralston, who's waving from the crowd. I don't have to tell all of you that in Pinellas County, children are 16% of our population, but they are all of our future. And the work you do every day is a testament to your commitment. The Juvenile Welfare Board understands this, and we have been investing in children's lives here in Pinellas County for 75 years. So I am going to brag a bit about the Juvenile Welfare Board in this presentation, but I want you to note the incredible impact Dr. Grego has had in its work during this time. An important partner to the Juvenile Welfare Board is and has been Pinellas County Schools. JWB partners with the school system at every level, from how JWB-funded school success interventions are structured, to which students and which schools need services most, and to how we collect and use data to continuously improve. JWB and Pinellas County Schools are committed to continuous quality improvement, and I would say we each make the other better. Together, we regularly consult regarding which students and schools most need JWB's deeper end services, such as intensive literacy instruction and middle school academies. And together, we work to identify and to fill those gaps, each in our own roles. Our work together reduces duplication and inefficiencies, and after all, you are and we are spending taxpayer money to do the things that we do, and we take that seriously. We work to measure school success of those students we serve by utilizing data and tools that are aligned with the school system. To be clear, our partnership assures that JWB's funded programs aimed at school success are the best that they can be. So today we're here to shine a light on that partnership and more specifically on Superintendent Dr. Michael Grego, whose strong leadership, guidance, and contributions have served us well on the JWB board. You see him in his day job. Because what you may or may not know is that by statute, the superintendent of Pinellas County Schools is an ex officio member of the Juvenile Welfare Board. And Dr. Grego has taken that role very seriously to both be a good fiduciary and board member for the Juvenile Welfare Board, but at every turn to find ways where he and his staff can supplement and work with what we're doing, all for the benefit of our kids. They're not your kids or JWB's kids, they are genuinely our kids. He has served in that role for the past 10 years, and he has faithfully served as a fiduciary for the work of the Juvenile Welfare Board, and that it is in that role that I'm here to recognize him. Throughout his tenure and his service on the Juvenile Welfare Board, Dr. Grego has been a steadfast leader and staunch advocate for quality early learning, universal pre-K and VPK, out-of-school time and summer programming, intensive literacy instruction, and mental health interventions and support. Under Dr. Grego's leadership, JWB has one of the most robust data sharing agreements in place with our local school system. There are, I think we just added a few, there are 9 other similar but not identical children's service councils in other counties in the state. I can tell you no one has the benefit of the close and productive relationship we have enjoyed with the school system. So who cares? Why does that matter? Well, this provides our organization with the ability to more effectively evaluate the programs we fund relative to school readiness and for school success in those program portfolios we fund. We can work with that data and understand where we're making a difference, where we're not making a difference, and what we can do better. Plus, these data are linchpins in our Pinellas Child Opportunity Index, which is a composite index that goes down to the census tract level to understand all of the factors that will predict a kid's future, success or not. And education is one of the 3 key domains in being able to do that work. So we're able to map programs, schools, interventions, literally on the Pinellas County map, knowing where those programs are and where those kids are relative to the opportunity index that underlies so much of what will define their future. JWB has also worked closely with Dr. Grego and his team to better align JWB-funded out-of-school time and summer programs to help meet the district's needs and coordinate with the district to be the best we can all be for our kids. So a few of those examples are the Promise Time program. Promise Time is offered in 47 Title I elementary schools and is comprised of 3 main components: out-of-school time programming, online learning, and small group tutoring. Promise Time targets students who are low performing or struggling, and it is a partnership between Title I schools, JWB, and 4 out-of-school time providers: the YMCA of the Suncoast, YMCA of St. Petersburg, City of Dunellen, and the R Club Childcare. We also work together on summer programming, so what we call Summer Bridge WRAP. So the Summer Bridge WRAP offers before and after school care for students enrolled in Pinellas County Schools' Summer Bridge, an educational program targeting low-performing students to help mitigate summer learning loss. So JWB's funding of WRAP support extends that learning day, as well as the number of weeks during the summer where programming is available, and to give working parents peace of mind that their children are safe and well. There are surely struggling students here in our county whose family could never have made the commitment to Summer Bridge without the WRAP component that allows them to comfortably work, go to school, or whatever their adult parent activities are, and therefore enabling the kid to get that special sauce that is Summer Bridge. Middle school academies have been funded by the Juvenile Welfare Board, and they are education-based, out-of-school time programs that extend the student's learning day, providing safety and supervision to youth of working parents, while also enhancing student academic achievement and improving their social skills. These out-of-school time programs exist in 13 of our middle schools across the county. And again, at every point, school selection, timing, all of the rest of that was done in close collaboration with your executive team led by Dr. Grego. Dr. Grego has been, as you already know, an incredibly strong advocate for on-time grade level reading and for enhanced literacy skills for all of our students. So when the Juvenile Welfare Board committed in 2020 to step up our funding of out-of-school time literacy programs, we were well informed by the school board, and all of its knowledge would be an understatement. At every point, we worked with the expertise that exists within the school system, as well as Dr. Grego's leadership, to assure that every one of those dollars was spent at its best and made the greatest difference for the kids who were in need. We looked at those programs after a full year in operation, found that they made a difference, and doubled down, if you will, added investment just a few months ago to these deeper end literacy programs. Some of the, just to make sure I recognize those folks who are on the ground doing that work, we were able to fund programs with the Boys and Girls Clubs of the Suncoast, YMCA of Greater St. Petersburg, and the Shirley Proctor Puller Foundation. And we also fund literacy outreach through a program of the Our Club Child Care and its Read Strong Pinellas initiative. Dr. Grego and his team were also key to the launch of the Pinellas Grade Level Reading Campaign, which is named Early Readers, Future Leaders. And this is truly a collaboration across all parties in Pinellas County who touch and are trying to make a difference for our kids and their literacy skills. Juvenile Welfare Board has been sort of the administrative backbone for this, I will say cast of thousands, it almost is, but all of the folks who are working across our county in different ways to enhance literacy skills for our kids. The campaign vision, as I know Dr. Grego's is that every child will be reading on grade level by third grade. We focus on 5 core factors that have been associated with that success: school readiness, school attendance, summer learning, parent and family engagement, and healthy readers. So at this time, the Juvenile Welfare Board would like to take this opportunity to publicly acknowledge and to thank Pinellas County School Superintendent, Dr. Michael Grego, for his steadfast leadership, his countless contributions, and his decade of service, not only through the school board, but through the Juvenile Welfare Board and the programs and the kids we're privileged to serve. Thank you.
Do you mind if I say something?
Not at all, please.
Thank you, Beth. You're leaving the microphone there.
I'll come back.
Yeah. Thank you for your leadership and for your partnership with the school board as a whole. Our board and your board, I know we share some of the same goals and same attributes. And Susan, it's so good to see you. Thank you for your past chair, and you've done a marvelous job of that. And as a current board member, you do a magnificent job. And always thank you for being such a reflective partner and thought partner to me also. So it's always good in your many years of service in this community with the Boys and Girls Club and so forth. So you're to be commended too. But it's been a joy working with the Juvenile Welfare Board. Not every community has this board. And we are truly blessed in this community. Hopefully we never take this Juvenile Welfare Board for granted. That's something that's always there. It's voter approved, and we ought to look at it as the blessing that it is, and ensure, as you do, an exceptional job to make sure that every tax dollar is spent in a way that we see that return on an investment as we do here. So just, you know, your words are too kind, but really the collective, as I always say, the collective we that really needs to improve and continue to improve. This work is never done. That's why I love it so much, and I know it's why you love what you do. There's always something more to happen. So thank you so much for taking your time. It means the world to us and to me and to this board that you took the time to come to our school board meeting to say a few words about the Juvenile Welfare Board and about our board and about the work that we jointly do. So thank you. Thank you. Susan, thank you.
Thank you. It's genuinely our pleasure.
Wow, it's hard to follow. All right, we're going to move on to public comments on agenda items, but before we do that, I'm going to read our new policy, not our new, we've revamped this a little bit so it's clear. So, members of the public have 3 separate opportunities to address the board when we gather for a business meeting. The first opportunity is during public agenda items. The next opportunity is when there's a public hearing, most of which are about policies. Lastly, after the meeting is adjourned, we will remain for public participation when speakers may address items pertaining to the business of the district. At each opportunity for public input, board members are here to listen to you. This is not a time for discussion or debate. We will not take any formal action on information brought forward unless it is pertaining to an agenda item brought forward on which we are going to vote. However, the board and the superintendent may clarify statements or refer the speaker to the proper staff person to help them working through any concern that is brought forward. The board is committed to a standard of civility and decorum in conducting our meetings. Whether you agree or disagree with the viewpoints expressed by the speakers, please refrain from showing any audible support or disagreement. This includes refraining from clapping after a public speaker, which can be disruptive, intimidating, or is prohibited by our public speaking policies. You can use the jazz hands. We also ask that you assist us in maintaining a civil and constructive environment while confining your comments to the business of the district. Please refrain from any profanity, defamatory remarks, interruptive, or otherwise in violation of our policy. Remember, we are modeling for the students of Pinellas County, so it needs to start here. And with that said, Mrs. Hauk, do we have any speakers on the agenda?
No, Madam Chair, there are no speakers for agenda items.
All right, well then, there's no unfinished business, so let's go to consent. I need a motion. Mr. Dudley, and I need a second. Ms. Cook, all in favor, say aye. Aye. And it passes 7-0. All right, going on to the non-consent. It's a request approval of the 5-year high-performing charter school agreement with the Board of Trustees of St. Petersburg College on behalf of St. Petersburg Collegiate STEM High School. I need a motion. Ms. Dr. Carr, I need a second. Ms. Edmond. All right, let's go over this and then we'll vote.
Yes, Madam Chair and school board members, as you remember, Amy Hayes discussed this issue with Ms. Matway at their last workshop. So this is coming for your approval. I'll let Amy just review it for you and to the public. Amy?
Thank you. Good morning. On March 22nd, the board approved the high-performing charter application for St. Petersburg Collegiate STEM High School. The school will be located on the downtown St. Petersburg SPC campus and will offer a high school diploma, associate's in science degree, and industry certification options for students. The school will open in August of 2022 and will enroll students in grades 9 through 11 in the first year and will add 12th grade in year 2. This is a request for approval of the 5-year charter school agreement for the St. Petersburg Collegiate STEM High School.
Any questions?
Any discussion? All right, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? It passes 7-0. Okay, now we're going to move on to the new added agenda, 8.2, North Star Charter. I need a motion. Ms. Edmond and Ms. Cook. All right.
Madam
Dr.
Chair
Grego?
and school board members, you know, I talked with each of you because this is an important element. I also attached the communications in your packet of materials from Thomas Jackson, the CEO and president of Edison Learning. North Star, and I'm going to ask Amy to go through some of the details, but not too in-depth, but North Star has been somewhat of a problematic charter school for our district. Amy's done a fabulous job trying to help assist in any way, shape, or form that we can. We're at a point, though, in our discussions with them that I am strongly recommending that you issue them a 90-day notice of termination. This will mean that we will conduct and take a look at the students who are in there. We're not, absolutely not going to let any student be lost in any way, shape, or form. The enrollment of this school is extremely low. Daily enrollment may be in the 30s, if that. So it's not financially feasible. The primary reason, outside of some that Amy has listed on here, the primary reason is the deterioration financially. It's just not a viable school. So I know I didn't take all of your work in 30 seconds, but Amy, why don't you add to that, and then we'll open it up for some questions of the board.
Thank you. The Pinellas County School Board approved a 5-year charter agreement for North Star Academy of Pinellas on January 14th of 2019. The school serves grades 7 through 12, but has struggled to reach their enrollment projections, registering only about a third of their projected students. The school has been issued 3 notices of deficiency following an investigation of complaint filed with the Office of Inspector General of the Florida Department of Education. Pinellas County found the school in default of multiple sections of the charter agreement, as well as in a financial deteriorating condition. The first deficiency letter was sent to the school's governing board on March 8th, 2021, and the school was given time to respond and correct, and was placed on a corrective action plan for a deteriorating financial condition as outlined in Florida statutes. The second letter was issued to the school's governing board on December 15th, 2021, again giving the school an opportunity to respond and correct. After the third notice issued on February 14th, 2022, Pinellas County finds the school failed to correct deficiency items relating to providing the Career Academy courses that were outlined in the school's application, failed to meet the statutory requirement of making reading a primary focus of the curriculum, failed to implement services for students with disabilities, and failed to meet generally accepted standards of fiscal management. The school's management company, Edison Learning, issued a promissory note and a statement to fully support the financial condition of the school. However, on May 4th, 2022, Edison Learning withdrew their financial support of the school. The action of the management company and the school's inability to reach projected enrollment numbers leaves the school without sufficient income to sustain viability. Therefore, we are requesting approval of an issuance of the 90-day notice to terminate the charter agreement and prepare and transmit the notice to the governing board of North Star Academy of Pinellas.
Thank you, Amy.
Okay, Dr. Carr, you have comments?
Yes, I appreciate all the hard work and the amount of time invested in having to remediate some of our charter schools. And I think this is an important opportunity for us to point out some of the recent changes in legislation around the Charter Review Board, which some folks have not affectionately called it the prearranged marriage law, where charters will be eligible to open a charter school in a county without having to have direct interaction with the county first. It'll be approved at the state level, and then have oversight at the county level. And I know that that will mean potentially that our offices here will have to work incredibly hard to ensure that those relationships are adequate. And it's a shame that this has happened because these are some of our most vulnerable students and the most at-risk students that we have. And unfortunately, this has been something that has occurred prior in our district with charter schools where some of our most vulnerable students were most impacted by having to close these schools. So I thank you, and I'm very disappointed in the new legislation that I think it will have a negative effect on our ability to really determine at the local level what's needed in our community for charter schools. So thank you for continuing to advocate for our students and look out for what's in the best interest of our students.
Mrs. Edmond?
Thank you again, Mrs. Hayes, for bringing forth this item and doing going through all the necessary processes to bring this forth today. My question is, how will this information be communicated to the students and families that North Star currently services, as well as what will the process be here on out?
So normally what happens when we close a school is we will issue a notice to their board. They do have time, a 14-day period, to appeal that decision, depending on the outcome of whether or not they do appeal or, if they go ahead and allow the closure. Families will get notified. We usually try and absorb those students back into our schools, or other charter schools like Micro School, for example, may also work with those families. So that's part of the reason why we're doing this now, is to ensure that by August, these students have a placement and their families are not put in a position to do that during the school year and make those transitions.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I see no more comments, so if no one else has anything,
I make
Dr.
one
Grego?
comment outside of thanking Amy over the last few years for dealing with this. Let me also emphasize that she and our district is as aggressive as the law will allow us. Some people might say, why didn't you do something earlier? And so we give a corrective action. They have time in order to correct it, and it's a back and forth process. Yes, this has happened in our district in the past, but to the board's credit, we don't wait for this thing. If we see something is not working right, we take action to protect our students and their education. They don't get a do-over. So if something is failing and it's elementary and it's 3rd through 5th grade, or so, they don't get a do-over. The other reason, I'll say this in a complimentary way and in general, some of these programs that come in at alternative type of schools, one of the reasons is, and I warned them earlier on, I said, we have a very strong alternative, or what we call EAS program, very strong. And we have also perhaps one of the strongest adult high school education programs through Mr. Hunt and through our CTAE program. Districts where perhaps have none of those services, a school such as this might be able to survive. But where we provide our adult and community education program in many of our high schools, Mark has done a remarkable job, as you've seen in the prior workshop, of geographically locating it. Students have access to an adult high school diploma. Students have access to adult technical colleges that we have that not all districts have. So all of those things contribute to my sometimes advice to people that, it might not be a good fit, but then again, I can't control their decisions along the way. So kudos to the EAS programs and the individuals that we have that truly are serving some of our most vulnerable students. One of the reasons I gave is our school district's so strong, in other words. Thank you. Any other questions for Amy?
All right, if there's no other discussion, all those in favor of the 90-day notice for this charter, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, it passes 7-0.
Good job.
All right, let's move on to new business. Items introduced by the superintendent. Dr.
Yes,
Grego?
Madam Chair, I know it's a really busy time of the year, but I want to give you some really quick updates. First of all, as we prepare for our extensive summer bridge program, we have over 11,000 students currently registered. That number is growing. We are going to reach out again, and I want to say this publicly, to students who are below grade level, but all students are welcome, but specifically students who are below grade level, and especially students who may be at risk of being retained. Summer bridge is a required or mandatory opportunity. It's not an opportunity of choice. It's an opportunity that parents in this community really need to take hold. I want to remind the public that we have transportation, and T-Mark has provided over 150, 160 routes already that we've developed. So there's a lot going in and on to our summer bridge program, but if you're not there, you can't learn. And our teachers are being trained, and we've opened up a number of sites. We have bus stops everywhere. We'll transport if necessary. We have crossing guards. We have SSOs at our schools. We have food service. It is like running schools again for the summer. A little bit different, but I want the board and the public to know that we're fully engaged. And the requirement there is that if you've been identified as a need for the summer bridge program, attend it. And make sure that you're there. As you remember, this program, the day program, is a little bit longer, but as mentioned earlier, we have wraparound services that I could say to you that where parents need childcare issues, it's free. And so you could come before summer bridge or after summer bridge to the extent that you so need. If it's an hour or two after and you want to pick your child up, please do so. But the Juvenile Welfare Board's done a remarkable job of spending a lot of resources on wraparound services so that any parent who needs full-day childcare, this will be of no cost to our students and to our families. Also, last May 4th, we had the Pinellas. It's always a great celebration, but the Take Stock in Children senior graduation. We had 203 to be exact seniors graduate from this program. We assembled at Largo High School. Mr. Charlie Harris, the chair of the Pinellas Education Foundation, Dr. Byer, many other board members were there. We want to say thank you. We handed out $3.6 million in scholarships that day. We also thank you to board members who were able to make the honors breakfast. We recognized 27 students and their families, and there's always that special program where they identify a teacher that made the greatest impact in their lives. And I'm happy to see more elementary or middle school teachers, not always. The majority are high school teachers, but there's still, I'll never forget the time when someone brought their kindergarten teacher to the honors breakfast, and that says a lot for the impact of all teachers, all grade levels on students. So these were 27 National Merits finalists and semifinalists going to some of the most prestigious universities in the state of Florida and throughout the United States. Also want to congratulate and recognize Caprice Edmond, who was recently honored at the University of South Florida for the Educator's Young Educator Alumni Award. And this award recognizes the work of recent graduates who serve an exemplary leader in the field of education. Caprice, congratulations from myself and from this entire board. There's a lot of competitions going on. The History Day is probably one of the most popular ones. Pinellas County Schools won 12 awards at the Florida History Day competition, which took place May 1st through the 3rd. 2 prestigious teachers were recognized. Jerry Spann of Carwise Middle School won the entire state's Florida History Day Teacher of Merit Award, and Joshua Roberson, Seminole High School, is the Florida History Day Teacher of the Year. And now they're going to be these nominees are going to go on to the National Teacher of the Year Award. We had so many other social studies teachers are being honored, also for middle school, ESE, high school. I just want to really, a lot's been talked about our history teachers, social studies teachers. They do a remarkable job, and their associations are very powerful and influential, and I just really appreciate how these various associations reach in and celebrate themselves, whether it be mathematics or science, or in this case, history and social studies. Another example of that is the Council for Exceptional Children, their awards winners. What a great evening. So many different categories of Teacher of the Year, Inclusion Teacher, the Jack Lamb Rookie Teacher. So they look at the wonderful field of exceptional student education and they celebrate. And so I want to thank all of our ESE teachers for all that they do for our school district. You may have seen buttons recently about 100 days, and people would say, wait, I thought school was winding down. But really what it is 100 days until kindergarten. And I want to thank our communications department. I want to thank Mr. Hendrick and the teaching and learning and the elementary department, Jennifer, and all of those for just adding excitement for 100 days till kindergarten. We're down under 100 days now, but if you want a button for 100 days, at least it'll start a good conversation. But on 100 days to kindergarten, as you know, we have the startup kindergarten in this summer that we started last year. And you know what? Is one of those things, we're not going to stop this. We're going to shift funding and figure out a way to continue to do so. And perhaps our favorite time of the year, as you know, begins on May 19th, not too far away. Seniors will tell you exactly the date and time, but starts our graduations and will be held across this county. Many of the major high schools will be at Tropicana Field. I certainly want to thank the Trop and the Tampa Bay Rays for allowing us to use their facilities, but we'll be at Ruth Eckerd Hall. We'll be at Spectrum Ballpark. We'll be all over in some of our high schools for some of the smaller ones, and just a great season of celebration. And with that, I want to say to every senior in the school district, thank you for sticking with us, but congratulations. I know your families are extremely proud of you, and look forward to great things from all of our graduates. That concludes my comments. Thank you, Madam Chair.
All right. Items introduced by the school board attorney.
I have no report today. Thank you, ma'am.
All right. Items introduced by the board. Dr. Carr.
Thank you. I just want to point out that there were several retirements on our agenda this time, and I think it's that time of year where there's a great deal of movement, particularly in our leadership in the district. And I know that there will probably be others coming as well in our future agendas. So if I miss anyone, I'm really sorry. Sometimes when you acknowledge folks, you might leave someone out. But I wanted to acknowledge that Dr. Moody is retiring, and Dr. Christy Moody, and Carrie Wyatt, Suzanne Hester, Brad Finkbarner, and Debbie Thornton. So there are others, I'm sure, as well, but all of those individuals have served our districts as school-based leaders and administrators. And I think within this organization, that group of individuals is sometimes overlooked in the amount of time and energy and commitment they make to our district, because you, as a principal of a school, are a leader. You're like a mayor of the land. And those individuals have been incredible. I've had the fortunate opportunity to know each of them individually and have worked with them in the past. And I wish them the best of luck in their retirement or future endeavors, because a couple of them are definitely young enough to have a second career. So best of luck to them. Also to our seniors, I know we get senioritis and start thinking about doing, not making good choices. A little bit of self-destructive behavior can happen sometimes, so hold on tight. Let's remind our children to stay focused, and parents, remember to speak with them about making good choices during this transition period. And also I wanted to point out that the Youth Risk Behavior Survey was shared with me when I was able to participate in our Florida advocacy group, and I wanted to share that survey with the board, the results of that survey, the Youth Risk Behavior Survey that's conducted by the CDC, but Florida, with new legislation and on decisions made at the state level will not be participating in that survey in the future. And I think it's important that you have this data because it's important data for us to have as we make decisions around youth mental health. And also, along with that, we had the opportunity to participate in the Health and Human Service group with the county and the sheriff and our school board and JWB. And it was brought to our attention once again the importance of us looking at the Surgeon General's report for youth mental health. So I would urge us to take a look at that. I know our department has, but if you have not had the opportunity to read that, I would also like to share that again. We've had it shared in the past. So I'll send both of those items to you, Ms. Hoke, to share with my colleagues. So thank you, and that's all I had for us.
Mrs. Edmond?
Zoe Webster, who was just recognized today, is also a recipient of the Woodson Warrior Scholarship. So several Pinellas County students received scholarships from the Woodson Warriors this weekend. So it was just so exciting to see her here again, surprisingly. So that was great. I'd also like to remind the public that May 18th from 5 to 6:30, there will be an interagency agreement follow-up community meeting, which will be held here at the administration building, or you can participate online. That information will be available on the PCS website. Also, in conversations with Mr. Herbig over the past few months or a couple months, and some of you may have read the Tampa Bay Times report regarding an odor in the Childs Parks neighborhood. So I think it's important for everyone on the board just to have an understanding of where that situation is. And I know Mr. Herbig has been involved in that. Mr. Herbig, would you mind? Or through Dr. Grego, Mr. Herbig, would you mind just providing the board with an update?
Yes, thank you, Ms. Edmond and Madam Chair, board members. The issue was first brought to our attention by Ms. Edmond about 2 years ago in mid to late 2020. And upon discoverance of the issue with the odors in the neighborhood, what we found out from the school is that occasionally from time to time, the odors were so bad that the PE classes had to go inside, but they kind of accepted it as that's just the way it is in the neighborhood. And so we worked with Pinellas County at that time, and we got a reporting tool from the county, and they call it the Citizen Access Portal. It's available through Pinellas County website. And so every time that the school noticed one of those odors, we asked them to log it into that Citizen Access Portal, which they've been doing since late 2020, early 2021. In the meantime, our staff has gone out to try to test and try to see what's going on, and just kind of like you can kind of imagine sometimes when we go out there, the odor's no longer there. And so, you know, we test and we see nothing. But we reached out. The responsibility for testing is really with Pinellas County. And they have reached out and have worked with the city of St. Petersburg. The city contacted us about 10 days ago and asked if we would be willing to sponsor an air monitor device on our property. And of course, we said yes. We asked for some information on that, and so that we can have an agreement written out. The agreement would specify who gets to go in and at what time of the day they would go in to collect data from the monitoring device. That's important. Either they have to be JLA badged, or they need to go in with one of our people to make sure that they do that, or they can monitor or install it on the outside of our property and monitor it at any time. But we're working with them right now to try to determine where that location would be. And like I said, we'll bring that agreement to you, and as soon as they give us the details that we can craft that. But as of right now, again, I know that Pinellas County is involved with it. The city of St. Petersburg is now involved with trying to find what the odor is and to see if there's any issues with the air quality.
Thank you, Mr. Herbig. And again, I think it's important that the board is aware. And to the point Mr. Herbig made is that he's working collaboratively with the city of St. Pete and the county to make sure that we're doing what we can as a district to get to the bottom of it. I do know that the community is organizing around the issue to bring awareness and encourage participation in reporting. So additional news coverage regarding this will continue until it's rectified. My last comment is more of a question. So I know, as Dr. Carr mentioned, this is now the time for reorganization, and school leadership and personnel is starting to adjust or realign. So I would like to request information regarding the process and if there's a timeline that occurs when determining the renewal and non-renewal of administrators and instructional staff.
The timeline is I provide those renewals to the board prior to the end of June to start the next fiscal or next contract year. Typically, it's in May and the beginning of June.
Thank you. Is there a specific process or are people notified? So again, I can follow up with you after.
Sure, the process is the same we've used. It's an annual evaluation. I evaluate my staff, and people responsible are evaluated by their supervisors. And they either renewed or not. Vast majority are renewed, provided, as I mentioned, to this board and to me, to go on an agenda item for typically the latter part of May or the beginning of June. I've tried to move that up, but the process is very clear and transparent to the individuals who are being evaluated. It's a year-long process, so it's no surprises to individuals. And so that really is the cycle without going into further details. But it is the process that this board has approved in terms of the evaluation process of each and every employee.
Is that item 7? Okay. Mrs. Hine?
Thank you. Thank you. I know we mentioned Debbie's name a couple times as retiring, and I was just going to mention I visited Paul B. Stevens last week and got to meet her and visit the school with Dr. Gonzalez. Thank you. And boy, what an exceptional experience for me. That was my first time being at one of our centers like that, and it was extraordinary. And I just want to tell everyone that I felt both very moved and very proud to be part of this county and providing those kinds of services and education to an amazing population of children. So thank you. I also wanted to mention today, I think fundamental pieces to both student achievement and teacher inspiration, certainly both at home and in our classrooms. And over the recent few months for me, whether it's been visiting schools or at Boy Scouts or at the baseball fields or wherever it is, and always talking with people about school and their experience and what's going on, I've been hearing a lot about behavior at schools and in classrooms and about discipline issues and things like that. And just, more than usual. Okay, well that's interesting. And I'm confident that our schools are doing all the right things. Absolute confidence in that. I just think we need to think more broadly as a society what we might need, after experiencing the recent 2 years. And I think what could make for, fundamental support of that thriving student achievement and teacher inspiration is really grounding and connection. So it's not that we need more discipline and more rules and more this, but I think we all as a society need to feel more grounded and need to feel more connected to one another. And so I'd like to just mention 2 things along this line. One, I know that a few of us sit on the Health and Human Services Committee together. Mrs. Kane, Dr. Carr, and I sit on that committee. We had a meeting recently. And while we were there, I just want to raise up the report that Donna Sicilian shared with us, that Protecting Youth Mental Health report from the U.S. Surgeon General issued just this past year. And I'd like to recommend to that committee, with your support, that we take a look at that as a committee and how as a community. It's a really interesting report, and it talks about what the whole community can do, what young people can do, what families can do, what schools can do, but all kinds of other community organizations as well. And I just think that that could be a good path for us. And then I guess second for us here, as this school year ends and we start this transition and planning process for the coming school year, I'd like to encourage our leadership team, both here and in our schools, to consider how can we start this coming school year, maybe a little bit differently, maybe, proactively building in some time, some space, some activities for that grounding and connection in our schools and in our classrooms. I had a great conversation with one of our experienced and bright-eyed behavioral specialists recently around different ideas. And, and I'm not the right person to ask for what they should be. It's just what I feel. I feel we all need this. Our teachers, our students, we need this at all different ages. So, maybe the first 2 weeks of school contain some time. Time is precious. I know that time is precious, but carved out, and then there's classroom-based age-level activities or discussions that can help us start off the year establishing a grounding and this connection with one another. And then, yes, off to the races, right? But then, of course, with some different thoughtful connections throughout. And again, I know our teachers in schools do this. I know we do the best we can, and we're thoughtful about this already. I just wonder, as we kick off into this summer of trainings and plannings and things like that, that if this might be a good year to think about how we can reground with this new school year coming up, with that grounding and connection. The learning will follow, and not just follow, but it'll thrive. So just wanted to share that. So I'll follow up on the Health and Human Services Committee piece, and then I look forward to hearing any thoughts or feedback around what I just shared about the new school year, but thank you.
All right, go ahead.
Mrs. Hine, I chair the committee that we're on, and when the committee resolved, that was the task that was assigned from that committee, was for staff from each of those organizations to look at that document from the Surgeon General and to come back to us with recommendations. So I don't want you to think that that wasn't followed up on. The individuals who do the work in each of the organizations are going to review that document and determine next steps for the committee.
Okay, Mrs. Cook.
As I have been doing recently, I want to give you an update on the superintendent search for those that are watching, as well as a little reminder for us. This week, we will start the interviews with the 3 finalists. We will have interviews with the board as a group tomorrow, May 11th, at 11 o'clock, right here in the conference room. Those interviews will be open to the public as well as being live streamed. Additionally, tomorrow evening, we'll have a meet and greet with all of the finalists. It will start with, again, right here in the conference hall, and it will start with them giving a little introductory and talking about themselves a little bit, and then followed up with a few questions and answers. After that, it will be a one-on-one where people who are in attendance will be able to come and speak to the candidates and, talk with them and get to know a little bit more about them as well. The introduction and the question and answer period will be live streamed so that people that are unable to attend will be able to see that portion. You can find the streaming links on the web, on our website homepage, as well as the superintendent webpage. Anyone wishing to give any feedback to us can do that by contacting board@PCSB, and each of the things that are received will be sent to us. There's also a feedback button on the superintendent search webpage that they can use, and again, we all receive the information that's there. That link, the webpage is at pcsb.org/superintendent search. Board members will have individual interviews with the candidates on May 12th, And then we will make our final selection on May 17th at a board meeting, again, right here in the conference hall. So I'd like to thank FSBA for the work that they have done and to help us make this process as smooth as possible. And I'm sure they will continue to do that, but it has been an outstanding job so far. So thank all of you for your time as well as them. And Mrs. Hauk, thank you for the hours that you have put in as well.
You've done a wonderful job, both of you. Thank you so
Thank you.
much. And I just want to say thank you to the ESC, the Exceptional Student Education and Dropout Prevention, this past weekend at St. Petersburg College in Clearwater. They had a career event for students and families. And this is as a personal. I can't thank you all enough. My son graduates this year, and I am telling you, Pinellas County challenged him to the highest level. This was a child I was told would never walk or talk, and he is graduating with a regular diploma. And it just shows all of you parents out there who have special needs or children that are challenging, you don't give up. You keep pushing. You let our faculties help you. We have some of the very best, and we are making our students, the level's not down here, it's way up here. And most of the kids, not all, but many, are getting so close to that level. And although I've had moments where I've thought, oh, I was going to do cartwheels next week, but I can't do that. I'm not ready yet. But I know that my son's future and the other students, ESC and dropout prevention students here in Pinellas County, they have as bright of a future as RJ. So I want to thank you all, and parents, never give up. If you get frustrated, I'm here. You can call me anytime and I'll walk you through it. But the point is, stick with it, challenge your students, talk to our staff, and sit back and wait for the day of graduation, because there is nothing prouder than that moment. And I thank every one of you and our supervisors for giving our children that opportunity. So thank you. Okay, if there's no other board members, Dr. Corbett, do you have any board requests?
Yeah, Madam Chair, yes, I recorded one. We will have conversations with staff to consider for the start of the school year to have some sort of activities for regrounding and for connections with students.
Okay, excellent. Okay, so I am going to adjourn the meeting. We will have public comments, and then we will come back and do our board meeting evaluation. So with that, I call to end the Pinellas County School Board meeting on May 10th, 2022, and Ms.